Hello, beautiful people. I'm going to turn myself on. A little music, please. I know. You're about to. Let's see. I apparently am on. So I have a combination of fear, excitement, definitely not bored. So pleased to be with you, and thank you. The first time that I requested to speak about this, I was denied, and thank God I asked again. And it's a topic, it's a hot topic. In fact, when my publisher not just asked, but insisted that I write about this was about a year ago. I said, no way, Jose. I like writing about things that people agree on, that people laugh about, that people don't have strong feelings against. Well, this is the hottest topic I can possibly speak about. The topic that brings people into their heads. People have very strong opinions either way, and I suck at having people disagree with me. So I said no. And then a little birdie whispered in my ear, let's at least rhyme about it. So there is a part of me I call the spiritual Dr. Seuss. And the spiritual Dr. Seuss started to rhyme about this hot, controversial topic. By the way, can you see me? YouTube, I want you to see that I'm not just dressed in blue, but red. Red, blue. And since I'm a gringo, you could say red, white, and blue. So the spiritual Dr. Seuss, this part of me that loves to be playful, started the book out and got me excited, got me past my fears. And so I want to share with you the poem that started it all. Will you write the foreword? Scott asked me last month. I said, yes, indeed. He had paid for my lunch. But this is no fable for kids getting tucked in. It's a wake-up adult's book for the nightmares we're stuck in. A book without answers, but full of good questions. Ones to chew slowly for mindful digestion. A book without answers, but full of good questions. Did I say that already? I sure did. So, I, the spiritual Dr. Seuss, I read the book, and rhymes were ignited again and again. But this is no fable for kids getting tucked in. It's a wake-up adult's book for the nightmares we're stuck in. A book without answers, but full of good questions. Ones to chew slowly for mindful digestion. Like, why do most folks choose just red or just blue? Could there be more than one valid view? Are opinions the same thing as what is true? Is this what our founders had hoped we would do? Old Honest Abe. Now, he was the man. A house this divided cannot long stand. He was Republican, President Lincoln. And I'd like to see more of the ways he was thinking. How have opinions become so darn rigid? How has this Cold War become so darn frigid? I'm going to have to look at my notes. Okay. What could be making extreme so attractive? What could be making our brains so reactive? I've got a theory that might be quite freeing, that points to the glasses through which we've been seeing. A dark pair of lenses that filter out light till all we could see is just black and just white. No room for discussion, you're wrong and I'm right. Look at my notes. Blood pressure rises, adrenaline spikes, till I'm left with 3 options: fight, freeze, or flight. And when on the menu there's only 3 F's, it brings out my worst traits and hides all the rest. No room for discussion. It's time to go tribal, to stick with my own kind and steer clear of my rivals. My rivals are totally up to no good. They simply cannot be the least understood. I've learned this from news shows that always agree with my view of the world and the way things should be. Whether it's Fox or MSNBC, it all sure sounds fair and balanced to me. Yeah, these glasses make sure I obscure self-reflection, so I claim the high ground and moral direction. Now, it's easy to spot those dark glasses on Putin, but in my own mirror, now that I'm disputing, I'd rather stay blind to my mind's battlefront, so I can cast blame on those liberals or Trump. Could it be the whole world's now wearing these glasses? Letting the media blow smoke up our asses? Using the internet for amplifying the reasons the other side needs? Demonizing our differences, so darn polarizing. We spend half the day back and forth analyzing. And through algorithms, we see only our tribe, which makes us think the whole world's applauding our side. The trespassing's always those other dumbasses, and never the fault of our own faulty glasses. May this book help us take off those glasses and see what we all have in common, our humanity.
So there.
So there. Thank you. Thank you. So, I have this belief that out of all the negative emotions there are, they all boil down to fear.
Yeah.
And one of the doorways, there's many of them, but one of the doorways out of fear is curiosity. Genuine or even manufactured, just to get the process rolling, to pretend that you're curious. Open your mind, even if you need a crowbar. So, I'm a recovering MAGA liberal. MAGA, make America groovy again. Or at least MALA, M-A-L-A, with a red, white, and blue and purple hat that says, make America laugh again. What happened to our sense of humor? Do you remember, I don't know if you remember this, but once upon a time, Chris Farley from from Saturday Night Live actually infiltrated a Republican convention, and at the time he was really good at impersonations, and guess who he impersonated? The national Republican presidential candidate. Who was that guy? Newt Gingrich,
Governor
right?
of New Jersey.
He went in there and he impersonated Newt Gingrich, and guess who laughed? Everyone. Newt Gingrich laughed. The whole Republican Party cracked up. What happened? I don't know. But nowadays, nobody laughs at each other. No Republicans and Democrats fight on the Congress floor and then go out to lunch and talk about their children. That's the way it used to be. So something happened. And one day, I was on an airplane, and I was in my liberal personality, and I sat down, and right next to me were an elderly couple wearing MAGA hats. And at first I just like, I'm going to stay away from these people, I'll put on my headphones, had my mind turned off to their humanity. And what's beautiful is that we had 4 hours, and my first reaction of seeing them as enemies settled down, and I got curious. And I heard them speaking, and they were talking about their grandchildren. So I said, excuse me, I'm curious, how many grandchildren do you have? And they told me, and I said, do you have pictures? And boy, did we start talking. All about my daughter, their children, their grandchildren, what are your hopes, what are your dreams, da 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 da. And finally, after like a couple of hours of human connection, I found the willingness to ask a question that had been pounding in my heart, wanting to be asked. I said, this is scary for me, and please, I hope you don't take it personally, but I want to ask you a question. What kind of world are you hoping President Trump leaves for your children and grandchildren? And they both painted a picture of the kind of world I want my daughter to live in. They wanted a world where everyone had enough. They wanted a world where everyone felt safe. They wanted a world not just for some, but for everyone to have enough. Now, their strategies for that world taking place were very different than what I was raised to believe are my strategies, my hopes, my dreams for what it looks like to have a more peaceful and prosperous world. And yet, we joined together in the same hopes and the same visions. And I was so glad that I had opened my mind enough to talk to them, to talk about what we had in common, and to ask questions about our mutual needs rather than the opposing strategies that breaks people apart. And I apparently have a roadie with me who's going to stand here and kneel and... My goodness, thank you, Senor. Are we on? Okay. So, curiosity is why we're here. Curiosity leads to good cheer. When we come from our humanity, it replaces our insanity. I really like to practice with Sean Hannity too. Oh yeah! Now I have some lyrics that I forgot. Here they are. When I come from being curious, it just melts down. How darn furious. No longer am I judge and jury, us two. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. That was fun. We'll do a little more music before Q&A. I think one of the hardest things for me has been to go from I know what's best to I don't know. I don't know what's best. And it feels so freeing. That doesn't mean I'm not a liberal, or I'm not this, or I'm that. I just don't like labels anymore. Yeah. Labels separate us. And I'm more into unification than I am. And I also, not only like you, lived through what seemed like the end of the world. I mean, like that COVID thing. I mean, to think back on what we did, what we survived, and what we learned. I learned not just how to survive, but how to be, how to connect heart to heart when we're 6 feet away from each other, when we're wearing masks, to find joy in just being alive. And I just have a feeling that whatever is going to be the most challenging also has within it blessings. Sometimes blessings that can't be learned unless we go through the actual adversity. Thank you so much. So, my goodness. So this is what I learned, or what I saw from COVID, and how we can translate that and build upon that so that we could consider these times to also be blessings in disguise. I saw facial masks, folks getting sick, stuck in our homes, binging Netflix, and I said to myself, it's still a wonderful world. I saw families slowing down, meals being shared, every emotion from joy to despair. And I said to myself, it's still a wonderful world. Could it be that the pandemic, traumatic as it was teaching us resilience and maybe even love? I saw friends washing hands, standing 6 feet apart, learning there's no distance between our hearts. Now the shit's hit the fan, it's pouring like a geyser. Make good things grow from Donald's fertilizer. Either way, I could say it's still a wonderful world. Either way, I can say it's still a wonderful world. Oh, yeah. Give me a time check.
20.
It's 20. I have 20 minutes? So I have about 20 minutes until questions and answers?
True.
Holy moly! I can do anything I want up here.
What do you want?
Let's give you a little sample from the book. A little something I can read from the book. Imagine your phone had a voice assistant like Alexa or Siri, but with a specialty. It doesn't tell you the weather, play your Spotify, or answer trivia questions. Instead, it listens past the rants, the righteousness, and the rage of our culture and translates them into the soft, trembling fears underneath. Meet your new favorite app, Fury, the fear translator. Here's how it works. You hear someone say, "The woke mob is ruining everything." Then you check your app and it says, "I'm scared I don't belong anymore. I'm scared my values are disappearing." You hear, "The other side is literally destroying democracy." Fury whispers, "I'm terrified, I'm losing control. I don't know what the future brings." You secretly pointed at your spouse in the middle of an argument. The app reports, "I'm scared I'm not being heard." Even the road rager tailing you, Fury flashes, "I'm afraid I'm late and I might get chewed out for it." Fury doesn't take sides or diagnose. It just helps us listen with our hearts. Most arguments are like badly dubbed foreign films. We're reading the subtitles of aggression and missing the emotional storyline. Fury in the mirror. You can even use Fury to support yourself. You say, "I can't believe she unfriended me over a post." It translates softly, "I feel hurt, misunderstood, and I'm missing a lost connection." The app doesn't fix anything. It just helps us respond to what's real instead of what's loud. What might change if we all used Fury? Just for a day. Maybe we'd stop blaming long enough to notice how alike we really are underneath our personas. Scared, tender, and trying our best to cope. There's no shame in fear, but there's freedom and real power in naming what's going on beneath the surface. And that's how we reconnect. That's how we access compassion. My conversations with fear Scott, what fear hides behind greed and the hunger for power? Theory. Scanning? Ah! Found a familiar file. Fear of scarcity. The belief that there's never enough. Money, love, recognition, safety. Many who chase these things never had a taste of real love. So they seek to accumulate all the shiny substitutes. And there's never enough. Wow, that hits home, Theory, and reminds me of something the spiritual Dr. Seuss once said about people addicted to striving, no matter how much they've already achieved. But at night, insecurity pays you a call, because you know any moment you could lose it all. Your shrink says to rest. Your spouse sure agrees. Your doctor says ulcers take 14 of these. You know you should slow it down sooner or later, but your foot is just glued to the accelerator. What about racism, Theory? What fuels prejudice? Theory. Usually it's fear of the unfamiliar. When fear levels rise, so does black and white thinking and hatred as well. Scott. You know what? That reminds me of a woman I jogged by recently. She was walking her dog, who barked loudly at me. Forgive him, she said. He's prejudiced against men. I thought about that. And I was at Lake Chapala, and then I jogged past her again, and I said, he's not prejudiced, he's afraid. And he's loyally protecting his mommy. Then I flashed back to a time when I was prejudiced and loyally protecting my comfort zone. So I had lived in Brooklyn, New York, in a nice white suburban neighborhood. And I moved when I was 18 years old to Greenwich Village. And I saw just white, black, all kinds of people with different, I had never seen homosexuals. I had never seen, it was just a whole different world. And the first thing I felt was nervous, scared, threatened. And I noticed that through my threatened eyes, I was looking at people that I had judgments about. People of different skin colors, different sexual orientations. I just had judgments. And I didn't call it racism at the time. I wasn't a racist. Nobody believes they're a racist. Nobody sits there and goes, oh, I'm a racist. However, gradually, as I got more comfortable inside my own skin, I became not only less racist, but I actually valued, I loved the diversity. Here comes my roadie. One day I took me a walk through Greenwich Village, New York, to catch up on the latest crazes. I found a brand new reference for sexual preference listed in the yellow pages. I stumbled upon a crowded hair salon. The line went around the block. There was a special that day on purple body waves with a little green on the top. Yes, we're becoming a rainbow. Yes, we are seeing the lights. Would you rather see through a color TV and throw away your black and white? Yes, we're becoming a rainbow. Yes, we are seeing the lights. It's so hard to stay with your own kind these days when no two people look alike. Well, there's new races, new faces, new colors, new creeds. We're swimming in diversity. You can keep company with the folks you agree with, or sample the variety. I got a born-again friend who dabbles in Zen. She's Christian in a mystical way. If you don't like your religion, get a second opinion. Why stick to only one faith these days? Yes, we're becoming a rainbow. Yes, we are seeing the light. Wouldn't you rather see through a color TV? Throw away your black and white. Yes, we're becoming a rainbow. Yes, we are seeing the light. It's so hard to stay with your own kind these days, when no two people look alike, when no two people think alike, when no two people are alike. Oh, thank you. You know what? You may not want to leave too long because I got a song I would like to sing. Yeah. I would like to sing a song that was written in 1940 by Woody Guthrie. This land is your land, this land is my land. When I looked at it recently, it seemed like From California to the New York Highlands was a little limiting. And it may have been a great protest song in 1940. I believe he wrote it in response to America the Beautiful. But I'm thinking that if Woody was alive, if Pete Seeger was alive, these folks would approve of me changing the word just a little. Everybody, here it comes. Everybody breathes oxygen. Everybody is a citizen. Everyone a potential friend on this earth. Everybody breathes oxygen. Everybody is a citizen. Everyone a potential friend on this earth. This earth is yours. This earth is ours. From the Americas to the streets of China, from the mighty mountains to majestic oceans. This earth is here for you and me. If you saw our home from outer space, you'd not see countries, borders, or race. You just see beauty, a blue and white planet spinning to provide us gravity. This earth is yours, this earth is ours. From the people of Africa to the folks in Europe, from the Israelis to the Palestinians. This earth is here for you and me. Oh, wait a second, don't leave, senor. Oh yeah, trees are so beautiful. They are our best friends. They take our CO2 and give us oxygen. And as we learn to care for our home, sweet home, she can take care of you and me. This earth is yours, this earth is ours. From those with private jets to those in poverty, every hungry child is our responsibility. This earth can take care of you and me. This earth supports humanity. This earth is here for you and me.